Up to this point, we have been storing all of our rat data in variables, and this has been a blast so far. We have our names, we have the number of rats, but let's just say that we want to store more data. The more, the merrier. And I'm going to go down here and I am just going to go ahead and copy and paste, and I'm going to create, instead of a wolf rat, I'm going to create a fancy rat. And as you can see, this is becoming unwieldy already. We may be able to get away with maybe adding one more rat, but another rat after that, and things are just going to become absolutely unmanageable. And to illustrate this, I made this hilarious meme. And this is kind of a good representation. It is kind of maybe a little unprofessional, but it is a great representation of what's going on here. We can't hold all of our rats. What is a great way that we can conceptually keep track of everything as well as make this look a lot better? What we're going to do is we're pretty much going to create almost like a data briefcase. In our previous example, all of our variables are strewn all about the place. But after we get done here, we're going to have a nice little property that's going to exist in front of our variable where we can store data. And this is going to give us a nice little quote unquote briefcase where we can store all of our variables and we can house them in a way that's both conceptually easy to understand and visually pleasing to look at. So let's go ahead inside of VS Code and let's create a class of our own. So I am within Visual Studio Code right now, and first thing I'm going to do is navigate over to the left here and click on this thing. It looks like blocks and it's called extensions. And when you click on this, it's going to bring up various extensions that you need to install. Now we have already installed most of these, but if you don't have C# extensions already, or if you've came in from Google search, or this is your first video of the series, make sure to install this extension if you have Visual Studio Code, because it's going to make creating classes a lot easier. And with that in mind, and if you've installed that extension, go ahead, go into the left right here where all of our folders are, click New C#, and go to click New C# class. And I'm going to stick to the example before, and I'm just going to type in rat into the box above. When we do this, a snippet of code is going to be created. Now, you don't need to know what most of this even is. Using is there for all of the code to bring in code from other places. A namespace is just an identifier that helps us identify everything within the console app, and that is going to help C# bundle our code. And it's not something that you really need to pay attention to that much at this point. Where things get interesting is right here. Public means that we could use this class anywhere throughout our code. And there's different words that we can use, like internal, and we could use private. But for right now, public is going to be the easiest, and it's going to allow us to use our code in other places. Class is kind of self-explanatory. Our class is a class, and we're trying to create an object, and that's what the whole entire point of classes are, and you gave the class a name of rat. So within our class, what we're going to do is we're going to be using more snippets, and we're going to create things that are called properties. And all you need to do is type in prop and go ahead, hit tab, and we're going to create our very first properties. And these are like the variables that are going to be stored within the briefcase. Now, like I said, we can store these, we can have variables strewn throughout all of our app, but in this case, we want to house all of our variables logically within the actual rat. And the first thing that we have to do is give it the type that the actual variable needs to be. Now, it is called a property, but just to kind of conceptually help you, it's more or less very similar to a variable. And with these properties, we have to be very specific. Once again, we have to give it the public identifier that tells everybody else that's working with us and tells even you, the programmer, that you can go ahead, use this property wherever you want to. Next, we have to identify what type of property is this. And we've already talked about data types, and we need to be specific. Is this name going to be an integer? And of course, a rat name, or whatever we're going to name our rats, is going to be in the form of a string. So we're going to type it as a string, and we are going to give it a name. And once again, it's very similar to a variable. But what are these get and set? Now in programming, you kind of have to be very specific about things. Maybe you don't want the ability to be able to use this in other places. We could go ahead and take this out. We could have it so that we could just set this variable, or we could have it so that we can just get this variable. And these two words right here are going to control how we can access this. Now, probably not making a lot of sense at this point, but just kind of stick with me here and it'll make more sense as we go. Now we need to give it a couple more properties just for our example's sake, and because we have more variables within the rat example. So I'm going to go into here, I'm going to say prop, I'm going to say number, and the next actual property that we're going to give it is so I'm going to go ahead and type in prop again, and I'm going to give this a Boolean, and I'm going to say is radioactive. So we want to be able to know if our rat is radioactive or not. And this is the briefcase. This is what's going to store our variables. But if we're going to actually use this briefcase, we're going to have to actually create it. And the way that we're going to create it is we're going to go within our program.cs file right here. And I'm going to go into at the very top here. So just kind of follow along. And I'm going to type in wolf rat because the first example was a wolf rat. Then I'm going to type in new, and I'm going to type in rat followed by parentheses and a semicolon at the end. So what we just did in VS Code is create a brand new class, or more specifically, we are using a class to create an object. But what exactly does that mean? Well, let's understand things at a compiler level. Where is this computer going to store the memory? Well, first, what's going to happen is C# is going to take all of our rat properties and it's going to assign it to the heap. This is very different from every example that we've had before, except the string, because what's happening is that it's being placed on the heap. The heap is for complex data types. And if I can go ahead and move that over right here, it's for complex data types as opposed to the stack, which is for simple data types. And the reason that it's complex is because objects can be absolutely huge. Many times that you create classes and you're creating objects, it could have maybe 20 or 30 properties. But after that, it gets kind of a little crazy. But it could literally have that much data inside of it. And hence why we are going to place it on the heap, because it is a complex type. But it's important to also understand, why is this new? What is this new word? Well, the reason that we create new, or we use this word called new, is because we are creating a new object. And when you are instantiating a class, or you are using a class to create an object, you need to tell the compiler that you are placing it on the heap. You are creating a brand new object. But here's where things get even more interesting. What's going to happen is that C# is going to store this variable right here. Notice the actual wolf rat variable that we created, and it's going to tie a reference to all of this data. So this data, this variable name right here, isn't actually where this data is being stored. This actual name right here is being stored on the stack, and it's tied to the reference type on the heap. But before we go back into VS Code, I'm going to show you one peculiarity of some IDEs. Now, I don't think that this actually occurs in Visual Studio, but in IntelliJ and in some IDEs, you will notice that this isn't actually being stored as a variable. This is being stored as a hex code, because that is how the compiler identifies where it is being stored on the heap. Now, it's not something you'd need to know, so let's go ahead, let's hop back into VS Code, and let's finish building out our object. So let's go ahead, let's get back to business, and let's start talking CRUD. How are we going to create, read, and update our objects? Well, we've already created our objects, but there's no data inside of them, so what good are they? So we need to go ahead, we need to fill our new objects with data. And just to kind of be congruent here, I'm going to go ahead and assign the name of this one to be wolf rat, and then also the wolf rat. If you live in a house or apartment, there's probably a couple thousand underneath your house right now. Don't mean to scare you. Also, wolf rats are typically not radioactive, so no worries there. Also, we can't just stop at our wolf rat. We also need to declare our fancy rat as well too, because we're newing up all this data. We need logical places to keep everything. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm also going to populate my new object with data as well too. So fancy rat, just to keep the names congruent, just going to go into here, declare that, and I'm going to go into here. If you live near a pet store, there's probably 500 or 600 around you, depending on how close you live to the pet store. And also, fancy rats are not radioactive, so that's going to be false. But how are we going to read this data? If we want to read the data, it's going to be very similar to what we had before. We're going to use our console.writeLine, and we can reach into our object. This is the beauty of objects. We can go ahead and reach into them, and we can log the name. We can go ahead and log out fancy rat or wolf rat, and I'm going to do the same exact one for our other rat as well too. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm also going to declare fancy rat, and we'll go ahead and let's console log the names and see how we can read them. So go ahead, go down into your terminal. I'm going to go .NET watch run and watch what happens. Boom, our fancy rat and our wolf rat are logged to the console. But how are we going to actually update this data? Well, you don't have to worry about updates too much because objects are very mutable. You can update them at your will. And let's just say I want to go into here, going to grab the wolf rat. So I'm going to say wolf rat. I'm going to go into the name, and just to kind of be a little bit more expressive, going to go ahead and capitalize it and log it out. Also, we're going to do the same exact thing for the fancy rat. So I'm going to go name, and as you can see, we don't have to worry about immutability as much because we can just quickly reach into our objects, and that's the beauty of them. So if you want to update it, or if you want to read it to the console, I'm just going to go down here, and I'm going to copy and paste this down below, and let's watch what happens. Our fancy rat and our wolf rat are now changed. They are updated. But let's talk about delete. There's also probably going to be some scenarios where you want to delete. And unlike the string, these are going to be highly modifiable. And if you want to delete the values, all that you have to do is just declare an empty string. And we'll do the exact same thing for the fancy rat. And we'll just delete the names. Say for some reason we don't want the name anymore. All that we have to do is reach into it, assign an empty string. And I'm going to go down here and actually just copy and paste this and watch what happens. You will see that the values are no longer there. We have deleted them. Hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and as always, thank you for watching.